The debacle of the leaked police memo about what they were and weren't going to investigate is finally being put to bed, and ministers are unleashing their greatest hits on a post-budget tour of the country. Herald Deputy Political Editor Adam Pearse is with us from Parliament this morning. He's in the debating chamber. Adam, good morning.
G'day, Ryan.
Hey, good to have you on the show. So let's start with this police. It was a bizarre week. So this is a leaked document, right? A leaked memo. And it says anything under $500, if it's stolen petrol from the BP, whatever, won't be investigated no matter what the lines of inquiry. That was the original memo, right?
Yeah, that's the issue. I mean, it's a memo that came out in March. It was only meant for internal consumption, so obviously this has gone out externally and caused quite a bit of a panic. And you've explained it correctly. Essentially, it's a suggestion that police wouldn't look into certain crimes under a financial threshold. So say for shoplifting, it'd be $500. And obviously that's going to cause a bit of concern with the public. You'll remember just as well as everyone that the government party's National Act and New Zealand First, they all campaigned on tough on crime policies, making sure that the visible types of crime, like retail crime, was being clamped down on. So when there's the suggestion that some of this is going to go by the wayside and that the police aren't really going to look into it, that's going to be a concern. And you saw the response from the government, Police Minister Mark Mitchell come out and actually call into talkback radio to try and reassure people that this wasn't happening. The Police Commissioner had a impromptu press conference, which really tells you that something's gone wrong here. And you had the Prime Minister, Christopher Luxon, come out and say that it was wrong, which really does skate close to the line of compromising police independence. Obviously, police need operational independence. They shouldn't be dictated to by the government. But it does make it a bit easier for the government to come out and condemn this kind of stuff when you have the Commissioner, Richard Chambers, saying that it was unhelpful, it was confusing, and it doesn't align with his priorities.
One of those quick reverse moments, you have to, because you can't run an election campaign on being tough on crime and then let people get away with crime just because it's worth less than $500. It's like California. So are we actually clear, though, on whether it stands or not? Because I watched that press conference with the Police Commissioner yesterday. It seems like, I mean, they're never going to have all the resources that they need to investigate every single little crime, but it sort of seems like the memo was kind of still right.
Well, exactly, and this is where it gets a bit muddy, because there has been the suggestion that it was just for historic cases, whether it comes down to file management, but then it's just got lost in the weeds, and it's really a communications issue. They haven't been able to get on top of it quickly enough, and that's why you've seen the emergency kind of reaction from the likes of Mark Mitchell and Richard Chambers. But for the meantime, it sounds like these thresholds won't be in place. Police will obviously still be attending these things, as they did promise in the election. It'll just be a case, like you say, of priorities, whether they can go after that, or whether they can go after a shoplifting incident, or whether they're chasing something that is that they deem to be more important, which I think most people will understand, right? Everyone has priorities, and as much as police would like to go after every criminal, they simply can't do that with the resources that they have.
Yeah, exactly. Adam, got any other goss for us from Parliament around the traps?
Oh, there's always goss, Ryan. I'm sure you're as plugged in as anyone. But look, we've been full of the post-budget roadshow at the moment this week. Obviously a recess week, so the ministers and the Prime Minister, they're out and about over the country, selling their budget, telling the public how amazing it is. Obviously the opposition have tried their best to really dig into the detail and see whether there's some surprises under those flashy announcements. We saw the Green Party co-leader Chloe Swarbrick come out and say there could be a $600 or $700 million hole as a result of the potential cost to the government and their KiwiSaver contribution rates. Now, Finance Minister Nicola Willis came out and rubbished that, but she couldn't say how much it's going to cost, so that'll be something interesting to look for. And we've also got this People Select Committee on pay equity. Obviously, pay equity is a big issue when it comes to this budget, $12.8 million used to fund all sorts of programs. So that will be an interesting one to watch. And then, of course, we have the Deputy Prime Minister changeover on the weekend, which I'm sure you're looking forward to as much as everyone.
Yeah, of course we are. Hey, Adam, thank you. We have to leave it there. Appreciate your time this morning. Adam Pearse, the Herald's Deputy Political Editor from the House.